I'm on.
Hello, everyone. Michael Jordan fans are the best, and the spirit of Christmas is around. Even up front within this show, Mind of the North Star has gifted 5 Sports and Fitness Rants memberships to someone. I don't know where it goes, but it popped up on my feed. I don't know how it works, but the spirit of Christmas is here. And today, excuse me, and today we're going to be discussing what Christmas wishes we have for the NBA if we were able to give them to the NBA and how they could change for the better. But first, before we get into that, and I think everyone agrees that some Christmas wishes need to be brought to the NBA because I think they're 40% down from 12 years ago in respect to ratings. Anyway, besides that, let's welcome the guests here, NMB Sports. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here as always.
How about you, Robin? Sports and Fitness Rants. The Santa Claus came to town for your channel earlier.
Yo, much respect, man, to whoever that was. Thank you very much. Like I always tell everybody out there, man, I'm truly, truly humbled by all the support, man. Anyone out there, man. I already see people in the chat and the comments already going crazy, man. So much respect to everybody that's already joined the show. Once again, guys, I'm happy to be with you guys as usual. My man Scap is in the house. You know, Nick is here. My man Dart. We got Stream. We got the Czar of video footage. My man AOH. And you guys know the deal. Let's roll.
We've got Speam Engine, also known as actually on time today. How are you, sir?
We talked about this. I am to not follow Robin. I'm well. I'm warm. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy to be here.
Awesome. We got AOH. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm great. I finished my second jog, showered, and had breakfast during that countdown.
Nice. And then we got Scappa Jack. How are you,
that
sir?
That means shorten it.
Yo, what's up, Dart? What is up, panel? What's up, all of the viewers out there? Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everyone watching and all of you guys. Looking forward to on here and trying to dole out some Christmas wishes. Dart, real quick though, that's 48% down in viewership since 2012, and it's 25% viewership just from last year. So they definitely do need some Christmas miracles here to save this league.
And before we get into the topics, we've already got a super chat. And please, if you're going to super chat somebody, address who it's going to. But Vacation Wealth Partners super chatted somebody, I just know it wasn't me, saying Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Vacation Wealth Partners.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Dart, real quick, can you please highlight the comment that says, "Scat, please sleep with my girlfriends and all future arrangements"?
Oh my God.
Can you just leave that up there, please? Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Really set the tone.
There it is. Okay.
DDHD.
All right. There we go. Oh, there's another super chat.
What is
LeBron
going
James-
on out here right now?
Nice.
People
Man,
are-
I should be streaming today.
People are in the Christmas
90210.
spirit. The Republic LLC says LeBron James already surpassed Jordan since 2012. I don't think so, but thanks for the super chat.
Is that Nick right?
Probably. I think he might be the only one that believes that.
I was about to say he's the only one that makes that comment with frequency.
Yeah. But let's start with Jay since you corrected me on my wrong numbers. What is the Christmas wish you have for the NBA?
Yeah, I didn't want to drill too far into that correction, Dar, but just real briefly before I unravel this Christmas wish. The 25% reduction in viewership is across the 4 main platforms that air NBA games nationally. That would be ESPN, ABC, TNT, and NBA TV. And if you right now through the quarter point of this season, if you look at it, all national games are averaging 1.4 million viewers per game. If you look at the overlapping platforms and the WNBA games that aired in the regular season and playoffs, those networks saw 1.2 million viewers in the WNBA games. So when the WNBA is closing in rapidly on the NBA product, there is some massive issues and some really, I'd say, monumental changes that need be made. So I'll just, before I talk about any specific ones, which we can drill into all of these maybe individually and pinpoint, but I think the overriding factor that we have to look at is who has really presided over the destruction of the NBA. You know, the head coach always gets the lion's share of the blame, and the great player gets the lion's share of the blame when things go awry for a specific team. So I think you really have to look at the top, at the leadership. I'm being completely legitimately serious here. I hate to see anyone lose their jobs, but Adam Silver, he has to go. Like, the time is here. The time is now. They need a shift in leadership, and just someone that comes in and starts seeing things differently, seeing the league differently, trying to address these underriding issues, which are really plaguing the NBA. And, you know, the 3-point line has caught a lot of the ire from the national media, and even former players are talking about, you know, the amount of threes being taken. But the problem today goes well beyond just how many threes per game we're seeing, which it's 37.6 right now, which is up nearly 3 just from last year. It was 35 last year. And if you go back 15 years ago, it was only 22. And I'm sorry, if you go back 10 years, it was only 22. So a reduction of 15 from today if you go back just 10 years. But at its core, and I'll turn it over, the NBA has a significant competition problem. Players don't want to compete like to get championships, really. They don't want to compete on a nightly basis, at least on half of the floor. So you really need to drill in and figure out what can be done. How can we change it? It's not an easy answer. It's a complicated question. But I think it starts with the change at leadership, which would be Adam Silver.
So your Christmas wish is that Adam Silver is replaced.
Yeah, I'm like Scrooge here, wishing for people to get fired on Christmas.
He'll be all right.
The difference is your heart's in the right place.
we got quite a few more super chats. This is like the Karthik Shankar, the Tiger. Again, they don't say who does it, but thank you for the super chat at 199. These Laughs says, thank you for your work, everyone. The only ESPN I watched is on Scap Clips. I'm assuming this is for Scap. You have anything for them, or?
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a weird thing, my channel. I talk about a lot of current events in the NBA, but I obviously am kind of disgusted with the current product of the NBA. So it's like I have like a weird crossover of people that might watch the NBA and like the NBA today, but a lot of my viewers just don't really like the NBA anymore, like me to some degree. So, you know, I talk about the NBA today, but you know, a lot of people don't watch much of it other than on my channel. So I appreciate those people who aren't really even watching the product right now. Unfortunately, I still do watch the product now to bring it to all of you. But I appreciate you guys, all of you, all my subscribers and people that support me in the channel. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Hey, can I go over what Scap said?
Just real fast, two things, Robin, because there's more super chats. But if you're doing hate speech in the chat in the comments, you're gonna get banned. So that's just a warning if you want to keep talking here. Nick, if you could help me out with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not even paying attention. That's my fault. Let me try to find it.
You're good. But what's up, Robin?
No, I wanted to just continue off what Scap was giving his Christmas, when he was talking about some of the things that he said. I wanted to, maybe be the next person to chime in off that.
Okay, if you want to go next, let me just get through these super chats, but you can go next. Diaz Army asks about the top 10 list. I'll briefly answer. I think that, and thank you for the 5, what is that, euros? What do you guys think about my top 10 list? MJ, Kareem, Kobe, Duncan, Magic, LeBron, Curry, Shaq, Bird, Pippen, Wade. You got MJ number 1, so at least it's a good start at the very least.
That's about all we can say about that list.
Get there, LeBron James out your top 10. I've been telling you guys, don't make me go crazy right now.
It's Christmas.
Right, yeah, go crazy. Right, get different from how you are. Go ahead.
And there's no way in hell Scottie Pippen is top 10. I'm sorry, he's not even close to that. I love Scottie Pippen, man, and I respect you having him there for what maybe it's a sentimental thing, but there's no way, there's no world that Scottie Pippen is ever going to be in a top 10 conversation for NBA players of all time. It's not happening. To me, he's borderline top 10 small forward in the history of the NBA, man.
And Karthik Shankar says, make point differential count, teams will defend. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, sir. Robin, you said you wanted to follow up with Scap. And what's your Christmas wish for the NBA?
Yeah, well, so my Christmas wish is wrapped in, to what I've always been talking about on my channel and the angle that I come at on my channel, which is as a fan, which is as someone who grew up watching this in the 80s and the 90s. And when Scap is just talking now and he's giving out those numbers that he was giving now, what he's alluding to and what he's giving is, there's no excuses. What we hear a lot now when you talk about, anytime you mention ratings, whether you mention on your channel, in a video, in a conversation, anyone that wants to defend this ever, they'll immediately go to streaming them. Oh, these guys are not streaming this. They come up with the excuses. Oh, people don't have cable anymore, or they don't do this. They're watching it here. They're making an excuse. So what Scamp was doing is he's alluding that there are other entities that are doing quite well, actually doing better, but the NBA seems to be going downhill. So that gives that excuse and basically takes that out of or doesn't let you give that excuse. So I wanted to really, like I said, that's a good thing what Scap was mentioning there. Also, when we're talking about the commissioner, Adam Silver, once again, to me, the problem with Adam Silver is, in my opinion, I don't believe he's a basketball guy. I do not believe that deep down inside, he loves the game of basketball. Whether or not he's been around it his whole life, none of these things are relevant to me, because that's the way it comes off to me. Because when you're talking, Scap, and you say things like, hey, there are people that come to my channel and, they don't really want to watch the NBA right now, even though I'm watching and I'm critiquing it and I'm talking badly about it, let's say. The reason you're doing that is because you're holding a standard. You're coming out as a fan and you're saying, listen, as a fan of basketball, it's not just the NBA, it's basketball that we're a fan of. The NBA is irrelevant. It's a league, man, of organization to play basketball. That's what it's about. So you're coming off as a fan. The problem has been, why are we the fans having to come out and say these things? Why are not the players coming out and feeling that way? You guys get all this money, but you don't really get the sense from the players that they want to go out there in the court and prove that they deserve that money or why they've earned or gotten that money. They just want to not be out there and be like, hey, I made it. I've done this because I deserve to have the money instead of going out there and earning that money. So for me, the Christmas things that we're talking about would be, like I'm always talking about, the fans. There seems to be a disconnect, and we've all seen this over the last 5 years or so. Fans being ejected from the stands. And listen, we all get it. Fans say crazy things. Some of these people do crazy things. But let's not act like some of the players in past eras weren't hearing and having things done to them. But these things weren't happening with that frequency. When we talk about the All-Star game, and we're talking about when it's gone downhill, remember, the All-Star game was always supposed to be a celebration of the NBA players' talents for the fans, man. That's what the NBA All-Star game was about. The All-Star weekend, the slam dunk contest, the shootout. That's for the people, man. To highlight the best players in the league. So for me, I think we need to get back to the NBA players, someone like Adam Silver. We need a basketball guy in there, man. You could be a businessman. David Stern always came across as a guy that might have been into business, and he might have had that kind of acumen and that savvy, and that might have been his, his main thing or main focus. But he always seemed to have the best interest of the game at hand. Adam Silver doesn't seem to have that.
All right. So you agree with Scap? Is Adam Silver needs to get Scrooged out the NBA?
I didn't call for him to lose his job, though.
This needs to be better. Nick, what do you got to say for your Christmas wish? What's your Christmas wish for the NBA?
Yeah, so Scap at the end there had mentioned competition, right? The competition is just not what we think it used to be, or guys are just not at the same level that we would like them or we think we've seen previously. That was my Christmas wish, is the idea that players want to play against the best instead of playing alongside the best. And, firing Adam Silver would be great, right? Or I think that would probably be a good move, right? At the very least, to shake things up. But does that really address the culture or the sort of deeper issues? And I know we only get one thing, so it's hard. But if I could have one thing, it would be that players would go back to wanting to play against the best instead of playing alongside the best, right? And I get what would that look like? I don't know. Would that necessarily change the style of the game? Maybe not. But us as fans would have a much deeper appreciation for seeing guys who just simply want to win and they want to beat the guy on the other side of the court, right? So that would essentially, in a nutshell, that would be what I would wish for. And I think it was either Bird or Magic or both who essentially said what I just said in as many words, right? They think one of the big cultural shifts was, we call it banana boat culture or coddling them or whatever. But it is essentially that players went from wanting to team up and to get championships instead of kind of going out on their shield in a way, a la Charles Barkley, right? Even if you never win a ring, or Karl Malone, right? You did it your way. You did it on your own merits, right? You went out there and you left it all on the floor. And if you don't win a championship, look, man, the fans can forgive that. If you leave it all on the court and to what it looks like to us, right? You did everything you could to try and beat the other best players in the league, right? So that would be mine. I'll leave it there.
Real fast, the Republic LLC, I just brought up his super chat or her super chat. The problem with the NBA is laziness, with a space in between it. I think it's, yeah.
I
Thank you
thought
for
that
the
the problem
super
with the NBA is Nazis. That's what I saw first. So serious. Nazis are the problem, yeah.
Speen, what's your Christmas wish since you spoke up?
I'd like to see opposing views on coverage of the game. When I was growing up, I had Pardon the Interruption and Around the Horn, and that's it, right? And those guys would, at the very least, argue a point, even for the sake of ratings, and that's no longer a thing. It's not even a LeBron or a Lakers thing. There's just no, I guess for lack of a better word, parity in terms of coverage. Even when you talk about how social media covers the league now, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. You'll see posts about players like their bench celebrations, right? Or like someone will do some dance I never heard of after hitting a three, with 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Like these nothing highlights that continue to just be highlighted. I'd love to see some actual real coverage that A, covers the game, but B, offers some kind of pushback. I haven't seen that with any sport, or no, I shouldn't say with any sport, with any team, outside maybe the Knicks. But other than that, it's everybody just agrees, and I don't understand how their ratings last, even on Inside the NBA, which was the last bastion to me of decent basketball coverage. All those guys, other than Charles Barkley here and there, still kind of ride the fence, and it's kind of embarrassing to watch. Because 5-6 years ago, I don't think they would have, been on the same side like this. I think there would have been legitimate conversation.
AOH, what's your Christmas wish?
Hey, I wish Nick would stop having terrible takes.
Not going to happen.
He's not part of the NBA. Sorry, I didn't put that part in there.
Well, Robin mentioned something about Adam Silver being a businessman, and I wonder if Adam Silver truly doesn't understand competition, the attraction of competition, having never gone through it himself. Like, he probably has people talking to him saying, hey, just get the sport back to being competitive. And as an entertainer or businessman who's never actually competed in a game, I'm guessing he hasn't. He doesn't strike me as, unless it was fighting another vampire for blood. He doesn't. I think maybe he really doesn't understand the concept of competition. Steam Engine, absolutely. The coverage of some of the things. I mean, NBA can't wait to put a post up that so-and-so got in a fight with somebody or told somebody off or flipped off the fans, or we have to see something about the NBA Cup floor has been revealed. Oh, sweet God. I mean, who the fuck ever cared about what the floor was going to look like back when the game was good? If anything, I'd be mad that it was distracting me from being able to see the game. Okay, so anyway, my Christmas wish. I need a time travel trip, or maybe the Infinity Stones. I got to go back and change something. I either have to stop Penny Hardaway from getting injured, or Grant Hill, or Derrick Rose, so that the NBA doesn't have this feeling of desperation that they just have to go all in on their next selection. Either that, or I stop, his mom from conceiving.
Wow.
Or
So you want a time machine?
I either stop LeBron at 2000. I either stop LeBron at 2003 before anything happens, or I stop him before 2016, which resurrected this fake career. Because if we keep the Miami years, we have something to look back at and laugh before his career dissolves.
All right. We got 2 more super chats that came in. Push Trash for $1.99 says, this is an easy one. Take away the 3-point line. Yep. I don't know.
That's not going to help the load managing and the laziness. See, that's why it's a combination of things, man. That's why the Christmas list is a mile long. It's not just one thing. Like Adam Silver, he's a problem, but he's not the problem. He's part of the problem. So when someone mentioned in the chat about the laziness, that's exactly what is a problem right now. That goes to the competition, man.
TW does a $5 super chat saying, Scap, you were the GOAT at NBA analysis. I felt insane watching the NBA until I discovered your channel. Something is deeply wrong with the league. Would you like to comment, Scap?
Thank you very much, TW. I appreciate your support. The super thanks. Appreciate you as well for that. And I couldn't agree with you more. There's a lot wrong with the NBA today, and that's kind of why I said we need to change at leadership. But it is at its heart. It is there's a current of just I think it's a societal, a generational, whatever it is that you want to say. There's a shift of the way fundamentally young people are looking at just competing in day in and day out tasks. And it's just permeated sports products as well, none more emphatically than the NBA. But the NBA league offices did kind of help along the way. So I think really the NBA's desire to enhance offense and increase scoring was really like half of the equation. And then LeBron James being the best player of his era, so to speak, breaking the competitive balance of the sport and making it acceptable and even trendy to team up with the best players in the league. Like those are really the two main factors that I see at issue here. But the league offices started us down this path of defensive removal from the game. You know, it happened right around the mid 2000s. I don't want to get on my soapbox and start pontificating here because I am working on an uncharacteristically lengthy video that's going to highlight all this stuff. But league scoring in 95-96, you guys will understand this year. It's the year Jordan and the Bulls won 72 games. Jordan won his 4th league MVP that year. The Bulls won their 4th championship with Michael Jordan that season. But for the first time in 95-96 since 1956, so for the first time in 40 years that year, league scoring dipped below 100 points per game. And it just continued to decline into the early mid 2000s, where in 2004 bottomed out at 93 points a night. So the NBA thought that this was a gross product, an eyesore. Defense was too strict and harsh. And the NBA just felt like they needed to change things. And that was despite league popularity still being pretty high. The NBA Finals that season in 2004 had an 18 million view share per game, and it was over 20 million in the last 2 games of the series, which in the 90s, the golden era of the NBA and its popularity, when it was at its zenith, like it was in the 20s in per 20 million per viewers in the NBA Finals range. We got all the way to the 2020 finals with LeBron and the Heat in the bubble. 7 million people per night on average watched that series. An absolutely like abysmal tank job. So it didn't really necessarily have to do with the aesthetics of scoring. I think that people wanted. They now miss more than high scoring games, which we have now in spades. I said in 2004, scoring was 93 a night. It's 113 a night now. So 20 points more. But how are those 20 points being accumulated? By no one defending at all, dudes shooting wide open threes, jogging down the court, making layups. Like somewhere along the line, the NBA started this with their litigation and the rules changes they were making. And it just kind of coincided with the younger generation of players coming in, not wanting to defend anymore. There are ways to fix it, but it won't be done overnight. And it's going to be a struggle to do it. It's going to take years to repair. It took years to break. It'll take years to fix.
Maxis Mozark super chats for $2. Thank you, Maxis Mozark, wherever it goes to, the Bulbasaur icon. AOH just left, but I wanted to tell him that his take was not seated in reality. So mine is a little bit more seated in reality. So my Christmas wish is to give Adam Silver his wish and then go and bring Steph Curry and LeBron James back about 15 years in the past. So we're trying to keep the same history, but we're trying to de-age them back to into their mid-20s. So because that's what Adam Silver wants, is he wants to keep pushing LeBron James and Steph Curry and Kevin Durant as if they're the new up-and-coming things like they were, 10, 15 years ago. So I know that some of this is coming, or at least in theory or in conjecture or ideas that some of the juice that's being created that some of these guys may be using may help at least reduce it, mitigate the aging process. And I don't know if that's through Adam Silver's vampiric capabilities or what, but no, but I think the one thing to bring it back is that I think that the NBA, my Christmas wish for the NBA is that they get off these horses. And I think there is a problem with finding a new one because they put all this money, all this time into these guys. And I don't think they have a way forward. When you keep selling that the next, in which they have been doing ever since LeBron came in the league, is that the next rookie is going to be the next GOAT of the league. And then it doesn't pan out with the Zion Williamsons, the Ben Simmons, all of that. what are you going to do? If you keep failing and you keep presenting it, just because it worked with LeBron James doesn't mean, in respect to how well he did in total over his career, doesn't mean when you say it every year, you lose a lot of the punch behind it. So I think that they need to find somebody and find a better way to promote the young league talent. That's my Christmas wish for the NBA, is to be able to sell the new guys better.
Can I make two quick comments?
Yeah.
First, AOH was definitely taking a piss while Scap Attack was using words like zenith and litigation. So I just want to point that out. Second of all, shout out to whoever said Nosferatu Silver. That's great. Thirdly, I'm seeing a lot of Jokic talk. What do you guys think it would take to make Jokic actually marketable? And you can't say change his race.
His personality.
Well, I mean,
I actually really, man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was actually going to go the other way. I think if you're white, it helps you in many ways, and because you're such a unicorn like Larry Bird in a way, I think it actually works for you. I think his problem is that he's European, which I know that might be hard to dissect for some people, but I
already broke it down. It's definitely because
yeah. Like someone like me,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, even for me, like it's hard for me to identify with Jokic in many ways, right? Even Luka in a lot of ways, right? It's just a different culture vibe there. But yeah, like I think what Robin said, like his personality, he's like Dirk, like Dirk just didn't want to be that guy all the time, or maybe a lot of people passed up on him, but he's just a hard guy to market, like, are you going to make some funny, like racing horses commercial about him? Or, he just comes off so nonchalant about the league, which is why people like him. But I don't know. I think that one would be a hard sell.
I think Nikola Jokic could be like an Eli Manning. Because Eli Manning, to me, if you think about the NFL, Eli Manning doesn't really have like the personality of maybe Peyton Manning, right? But Eli Manning has a certain swag to him because he's able to make fun of himself and be goofy and still be, like I said, marketable in that degree, right? And be funny. To me, Nikola Jokic has a funny side to him. You've seen the things that he does. He's kind of goofy like that. But the thing that you said is that he's European. So the things that he's into, the horse racing, things of that nature, people here are not really into that in that big of a degree. So, but the problem really is being the NBA could push Nikola Jokic. They could push some of these other guys, but when you turn on the League Pass advertisement, they have LeBron James on there. Why the hell is LeBron James on the League Pass thing? Who gives a damn about a guy in year 22, man? Why are you still promoting this fool? You know what I'm saying? You could market Victor Wembanyama. You could market Luka Doncic. You could push those guys. Are they necessarily going to be in commercials and have that kind of swag like some of these other? Are they going to be Charles Barkley or Shaquille O'Neal or Michael Jordan in commercials? Absolutely not, because those guys have the charisma. They have the swag to be out there. But you can still market Nikola Jokic.
I think the fundamental problem isn't even the NBA's lack of desire to push this guy. I think it's his organization's lack of ability to surround him with a quality second option.
Oh God, Scap, come on, man! How do you go with that?
Now wait, hang on now.
The man's got 3 MVPs. You can market a 3-time MVP regardless. He's a champion. Don't bring up Jamal Murray.
Come on now, stay with me.
All the time.
My point being this. Look, I understand the context of the history of the NBA. Okay, I do. I understand the historical trends of teams in the past before my time, before I was capable of I wasn't even really alive, but I'm able to like study and understand what's happening. I know that the Celtics in the 80s and the Lakers in the 80s essentially were kind of super team-esque. While they were built more organically than the super teams we've seen today, they were absolutely stacked. In my lifetime, in my individual lifetime, Robin, let me explain this to you. I see you with your head in your hand there. Let me break this down to you, though. The two best players of my life of watching the NBA is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Michael Jordan never won anything until he got one serviceable annual All-Star in Scottie Pippen. Then he couldn't be beaten. Kobe Bryant won 3 rings early with one All-Star guy in Shaq, then couldn't win anything. Then they got him one serviceable perennial All-Star in Pau Gasol, and he couldn't be beaten. What the NBA fan base likes most of all is winners. Nikola Jokic is already the best player by a wide margin in the NBA today. The margin is as big to me as it was when Michael Jordan was in his prime. That's how much better Jokic is than the field. But like Jordan couldn't win anything until he got his one serviceable all-star in Pippen, Nikola Jokic is in year 10, and he has never one time played with a single all-star. He just simply doesn't have it on his roster. Therefore, he will not be a dynastic level winner. So he really, look, if he's got 3 MVPs, he likely will have 4 at the end of this year. But if he only has 1 championship, really not a lot of fans are going to identify with that or be able to say that he is an all-time great player. If you get him one guy, he's either failing with one guy, and then we can criticize him legitimately for failing with one guy, or he's going to prove me right and just win every year when he has one guy. But until he gets it, it's uncompelling to watch. It just is. It's not fun to watch a guy drop 56, 15, and 8 in a game against the worst team in basketball on a 16-game losing streak and that not be enough. Like, the best player in the world scored 56 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists on like 60% true shooting, and they lost to a team that had lost 16 straight games coming into it. It's not compelling. How do we market Jokic better? Let's fire Calvin Booth too. I'm handing out all the pink slips today, all right, or whatever you get when you fire someone. Adam Silver, out of here. General manager of the Denver Nuggets, Calvin Booth, out of here. In fact, I would like to just put myself in the running. Scap Attack can do it all, baby. I'll be the commissioner of the NBA, and I will be general manager of the Denver Nuggets. I'll get both these ships righted immediately.
So real fast, Ticket TV was asking for the link. I don't know if y'all are interested in having them join the panel. And then, Uncut Hoops was saying that, can you believe how many people think there's not a problem in the NBA? And then
that's also what. So like I was listening to some people and they were trying to, again, like you were just saying, they don't want to admit there's like an issue. And so they're trying to make all kinds of excuses. The only excuse I could think of that's serviceable is that in today's like media and ESPN apps and Twitter and all that, if you miss a game, right? Well, in 15 minutes, I can watch a podcast, look at the box score, and get the highlights, right? And I think if I had, again, you guys know me, Mr. Devil's Advocate and politically correct, right? I would say if I had to be on the other side just to give a little pushback, that was the only one I heard that was like, that is true. I could see that. I do that a lot, right? I just watch the Mavs podcast, the box score, and the highlights. And in less than 30 minutes, I've got the whole game summarized essentially, right? So I just want to throw that out there, I guess.
What's up, Ticket? How are you today?
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. I seen my boy Scap Attack up here, and I have something I want to speak to him about that he's been pushing for a while, and I want to know why he pushes this narrative about Jokic, but he praises guys like Kobe and Mike and these guys who actually played on both ends of the court. But then he says that Jokic is the best player in the league by far. It's not the margin is wide, which I totally disagree with, because a guy who doesn't play defense, how can you praise a guy to this level, then criticize the help he has? But then that's what you turn around and do to LeBron James. You criticize all LeBron James fans, say all they do is cry about the lack of help. But then you turn around to Jokic and you criticize Jokic's help. Jokic doesn't complain about his help. Michael Jordan never really complained about his help before Scottie got there. He just played. Guys just balled out. They bought their games. But guess what? They played on both ends of the court. Jokic is the only guy who won, 3 MVPs that isn't an elite defender in the league. How many guys in NBA history won 3 MVPs and wasn't elite on both sides of the court? When Hakeem won, he was elite on both sides of the court. Mike won both sides of the court. When Kobe won his, he's elite on both sides of the court. The list goes on. So, and then even when Shaq won his MVP, he was still decent, if not damn good on defense. But Jokic, he's a great offensive player. He's one of the greatest offensive players in the history of basketball. That's not a question. But when you're talking about all around, and when you're talking about the excuses you make for Jokic, they had a team good enough that won the NBA championship with Michael Porter, with Jamal Murray. Now, you push the limits when you talk about, he doesn't have an all-star. Jamal Murray easily is an all-star caliber player. The reason why he hasn't made all-star teams, most of the time he's been hurt. So he plays limited games. Therefore, he's not qualifying to play the all-star. So you cherry pick on that point right there, Scap. your premise, and then like I said, you praise Jokic all the time, which is, it's cool. I don't have a problem with that. But you're saying he's the best player by far in the league when you got a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo that does it on both ends of the court, at an elite level. Not only leading the league, and then doesn't use the three ball, isn't shooting good at all from the free throw line, but his assist numbers have went up. He's this year, his rebounding is through the roof always, and his scoring, well, that's just elite to be a guy who doesn't have a lot of moves. So the excuse that you use for Jokic, that's the real problem I have with your argument, sir, because you can't praise these other all-time greats who laid it on the line on both ends of the court. You talk about, Jokic and how he scored 50-something and they lost to the Wizards. That's Jokic's fault. He should be able to go get that done. Jokic should be able to. Didn't Dame Dollar beat the Wizards last night without Giannis? Or didn't the Bucks just beat the Wizards last night without Giannis? So what's the excuse for the Denver Nuggets with a guy who you say is by far the MVP of the league not beating that same Wizards team last night with Jordan Poole as their best player right now that's actively playing? So again, man, like I said, man, I just think that the narrative, I think you really want to push Jokic as this all-time, all-world, great MVP player that can't be touched. But I believe he can be touched because defensively, he leaves a lot to be desired.
Are you finished?
I ain't say nothing else. I just gave you the call. I gave you the floor. I dropped the mic on your ass. Go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to credit myself for not interrupting at all during your entire spiel. I would like you to extend the similar courtesy and respect to me to allow me to continue to speak without you interrupting me.
Hold on, Steph. I didn't say a word. Yeah. I stopped and I let you go. You didn't have to say anything else, sir. Just cook.
Okay. Firstly, why do I credit Jokic, defend him, and attack his supporting cast while I go at LeBron James for repeatedly inferring that he does need more help, repeatedly going to other teams to get more help? It's because LeBron James has played with not only perennial all-stars, my guy, like elite all-time players. When he joined Dwayne Wade was the third best player in the NBA at that time. Kobe Bryant was the best player, LeBron was the second best player, and Wade was third. Wade came off a season before he and LeBron joined up that previous year. Wade was first team All-NBA. He finished fifth in MVP voting, 10th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He was an All-NBA defender himself that season. That's who LeBron was playing with in his prime. If Jokic was, who would be comparable today? Oh, I don't know. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe? Luka Doncic? Do we want to give Nikola Jokic one of those guys for the next 4 years and see what happens? Okay. Oh, and did I mention that they recruited Chris Bosh as well onto that pairing, who the year before he went was coming off his 5th consecutive All-Star appearance and was a 24 point and 11 rebound per game guy in that NBA, where scoring was about 17 points per game fewer. That was his third option in his MVP prime, right in the middle where he won 4 MVPs in a 5-year span. That was the team he was playing with. Nikola Jokic, it ain't close. Today, like I said, where scoring has been steadily increasing, pace of play, ease of scoring, and offense has been on the rise since 2018. Since 2018, league-wide scoring is at 113 per game. All of these offensive numbers we're seeing are inflated. Yet Jamal Murray, that's the entirety of his career. He's a 17-point per game scorer. He is not an all-star caliber player. Just stop it with this. His second best player has never sniffed an all-star appearance, and he's terrible at defense in his own right, if you want to talk about both ends of the ball. Finally, to your point about both ends of the ball, about the defensive side, no one credits and praises guys, two-way players more than me. My top 5 guys all time played on both ends of the ball, and I love two-way players. Here's the problem, though. Nikola Jokic's value added to his team is substantially better and higher than any other player in the NBA right now. That's why he's won 3 MVPs, and it's probably going to be 4. Because right now he's adding 30 points per 100 possessions that he's on the court. Giannis is averaging 4 with his two-way play. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with his two-way play is adding 12. So You're telling me that these two guys who are 2 and 3 in the MVP odds right now behind Nikola Jokic add 12 and 4 points per game by being two-way players. Yet Jokic is averaging 30 per 100 possessions that he's on the floor versus off. It's not close. There's a reason why he keeps winning these awards. The problem is he doesn't have enough help when he gets into the playoffs to compete with viable teams and way better teams than he has. You just said that the Bucks beat the Wizards without Giannis. That's a commentary on how bad that the Nuggets are, not how good Giannis is. He sits out, they beat a team that Jokic drops 56 points on and they can't win with that. Let me just put one more thing in here because you talk about historical greats. I'm mainly talking about right now. In this era, Jokic is the primary dominator right now in this era. But if you want to compare him overall to other guys historically, whatever, I'll favor guys that played both ways above him. I'll put Hakeem above him. I'll put Tim Duncan above him because they play both sides. But the guys that are in play, which you talk about who else in NBA history played, won 3 MVPs and didn't play on both ends. I'll say this. Larry Bird is an underrated defender. He wasn't an elite defender. And Magic Johnson is certainly not an elite defender. There is no way, shape, or form you can paint him as one or say that he was, that Magic Johnson was an elite caliber defender on that side. He won 3 league MVPs, and he is pretty much unanimously ranked in the top somewhere 5 to 7 all-time players. So don't tell me that Jokic can't get in the mix or can't get in the running if Irvin Magic Johnson is repeatedly put in that same range by me as well. I overlook Magic's lack of defense, and I have him in my top 7. Therefore, I absolutely can overlook that for Nikola Jokic as well.
Am I still in here?
Okay, well, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead.
Take it real fast. We got a couple of super chats that came in. I want to discuss. And then I also don't want it to turn into just a debate between you guys.
No, I just want to pull up. I don't never really pull up on here, so I wanted to catch him while I could and cook his ass real quick because he said 2 things I'm about to destroy his ass on, but y'all want to change the topic real quick. You got a big dog. You got a big dog. You got a big dog on your channel right now. You got a big dog on your channel right now, and you trying to filibuster this because you trying to save this dude. Don't save him. He don't want to be saved.
I'm trying to do a super chat.
So hold on. So let me
please.
So let me ether your first point. Your first point ether is did Jokic have a better team than Hakeem Olajuwon? No. So that point is out of the window. And look what Hakeem did with worse role players than what Jokic had when he won the chip.
Clyde Drexler for one of his 2 titles.
I asked you overall.
Dart, I also have a bunch to say.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I asked you overall, did Jokic have better teammates than Hakeem Olajuwon when he won 2 back-to-back?
I have Hakeem over him.
So he doesn't know. What I'm saying to you is one thing, sir. You're saying that Jokic is the best player in the league by far. That's what
if you want to hang out, you can continue. Just give me a second to address some of this other stuff. Just give me 1 second. So we had 2 super chats that came in. We had from TW. Jokic is a unicorn, but not the kind of people want to ride. They stare from afar and say, "What is that?" He will never be the face of the league. Thank you, TW, for the $5 super chat. And then Animaniac does $4.99. Scap, Kobe and MJ were not defensive liabilities. Jokic is. If Jokic had a defensive bone.
Defensive bone.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. Defensive bone in his body. It may have been to another finals last season.
I read that too. I read that too, and my brain hurt, and I was like, what?
Hey, brother, can I respond now to him?
All right, yeah. But
okay, so
after this, I want you to tell me what your Christmas wish is for the NBA, though.
Well, my Christmas wish is that
I don't want to respond to whatever he's going to say. It's fine, but I want to just say one thing when he's done.
Good. I don't disagree.
It'll be 20 seconds.
Here's my thing. I don't disagree with a lot of stuff that Scap say, but I starkly disagree with him on his Jokic stuff. Like the way I see Scap, this is the type of games that Scap play, right? Scap will call Russell Westbrook trash, but Jokic wants him on the team.
That's not true.
You never praise.
He was trash early. I love Russ.
You praise Jokic for his basketball IQ, acumen, and all these things. He wants Russell Westbrook. But whenever Russell Westbrook plays well, you never call that out. You only bash their teammates and say they're trash, but you never praise them when they do well. I noticed that about you and your channel. And then this is what I want to say to you, dog. So when we were talking about just the nature of Jokic and Hakeem, the reason why I really got on you about Jokic is because you're saying he's the best player in this era by far, and it ain't close. Well, the reason why I disagree with that is because you have a guy. Hold on. You have a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's elite, who's won 2 MVPs, who's won a Defensive Player of the Year award.
I love Giannis. I talk about him too.
No, but you're not listening to what I'm saying. Listen to what my point is to you. You're saying that Jokic is the best player in the league by far, and it ain't close, is what you're saying. I'm telling you, that's absurd to say it's not close when you have Giannis, who's elite on both sides of the court. And the last point I'm going to touch to what you said. You said 2 quick things. You keep downplaying Jamal Murray. But if Jamal Murray and those guys are so bad, how did Jokic with those key main role players win a championship? The key 3 guys are still on the team. Him, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon. Those were the 3 key guys. He still got those guys. So if anybody else still, and let's tell the truth, when Aaron Gordon was with Orlando, he was a fringe all-star in Orlando. He was the best player on that team, and they were a playoff team. So let's just be honest. So when you're saying that, and then you got a guy like Jamal Murray, if he doesn't level up and averaging damn near 28, 29 points a game in some of these series in the playoffs, and then playing at all-world God level in the finals, you understand what I'm saying? And in the Western Conference Finals, when he's the one that comes through in the clutch and closes the Lakers every single time when y'all playing them and all them games come out of stretch. You have to give that credit. That's all I'm saying. You down these dudes like he's playing with scrubs, bro. And my only thing to you is this. No, Jokic doesn't cry about his teammates. He doesn't do the stuff about LeBron James. I agree with you on that, dog. That's not where we part ways. Where we part ways is where you talking this, oh, he's the greatest and it ain't even close and this and the third. It is close, bro, because I'm going to tell you something. I can rival what you're saying, and I can even say, hey, man, him and Shea got similar teams. And Shea be having that team number 1 in the West. And Shea's not a big. And last thing I'm going to give to you, and I'm going to get a mic back to my brother, MJ fan. Bro, a part that you have to look at, Scap, that I think you overlooked too, is Jokic is playing in a guard, jack him up 3-point era. He's not playing against real elite big men on a night-to-night era. Guys like Hakeem and them guys were. These dudes were all world level against all world level. Who's Jokic? Hold on. Who's the top 5 centers in the league in this era that Jokic is playing against? That's all I'm asking. I'm going.
Here's this won't take long, Dart. Here's the thing. It's fair to say not by far. To me, though, Giannis, I love Giannis. I have no pushback on Giannis. The reason I respect Jokic and Giannis so much is because these guys have been in garbage ass, tiny, minuscule markets with cheap ownership for over a decade each. Neither of them have left. Both of them have won titles. They each have one title. If you want to say whichever one had a better team in the title they won, Giannis has had a plethora of all defensive caliber teammates. Jokic has never had that either, by the way. So, like, does he not play good defense? Fine. Steph Curry's a terrible defender. But they surrounded Steph Curry with great defenders. The Golden State Warriors were always a top 3 net rated defense when they were winning. So Steph Curry's another example of a guy who isn't a defender.
We love you, Scap, but stop downplaying Jokic's teammates, bro, and give them other dudes credit.
Jamal Murray's garbage.
He doesn't as great as he. No, he's not. Because if he's garbage, if Jamal Murray's garbage, why is the team not playing well when Jamal Murray doesn't play well? Jokic is playing all-world MVP, by far greatest player in the game level. So if he's playing that great and you still getting your ass kicked by the Wizards, man, why aren't they winning games unless Jamal Murray is balling? You know why? Because Jamal Murray is a key player on that team, and that team
Jokic needs a second player.
You know that.
Because Jokic needs a second player.
Ticket, what's your Christmas wish for the NBA?
What am I saying? Listen, you said what's my wish?
Your Christmas wish. If there's one thing you could change with the NBA.
Cap on probably like 90% of the stuff he say. Just the other 10% is Cap. My Christmas wish is that they'll go ahead and get LeBron James and Bronny the hell out the league. That's my Christmas wish. That is what has destroyed the NBA. That has destroyed the National Basketball Association, is that those 2 guys are in the league. Because now you have foolishness going. Now you have it's more of a gimmick, and people are seeing through it. People are stopped watching the game because we've actually gotten away from great basketball, and we've gotten to just a freak show, man. And nobody wants to see that, bro. Where you're just jacking up threes. The media is all sold out to these guys, man. And it's sad, man, what they've done to the game, man. I wish that they would make the adjustments they need to make and get these type of dudes out the game, because there's too much new talent in the game that we should be praising and saying that we're not at this level where we're at right now. So that is where I'm at with this thing, man. And that's how I feel about this whole situation, bro.
I appreciate it, Ticket. On a sidebar, your mic, I don't know if you're on your phone or something, but it's all scratchy. I don't know if where you're calling in from, but it's super scratchy. If you want to hang out, you can. I appreciate you calling in. I'm going to read a couple more of these super chats.
Start real quick before Ticket leaves. I don't want to even debate about basketball. When the first appearance I made on the show, after that, on your show, the first appearance where Gilbert Arenas, where he showed up, and it was the 3.5 hour show. Ticket was on here and he was fighting with me about Jokic then. You texted me and Ticket that day, the day of my first appearance. You sent a direct text message to me and Ticket, and you were trying to set up a debate between me and him on Jokic. You and I exchanged like 10 text messages each on that chain. He never once responded. So I just want to say, like, him to come on here now with a panel of like 4 or 5 other people when we're trying to get other things, and him say, I'm about to come on here and cook you. Bro, you ghosted it. You had the opportunity and you ran away, and he just dropped out. You're a coward, Ticket TV. You don't cook anything, my man. Just scurry away back off the channel and then vanish into nothing again. Thank you.
Get in there, Robin.
Robin, go. Robin, go.
I think he might be on a delay too.
Robin, can you
he
hear
was
us?
On a delay earlier.
Yeah, I think his
All
audio.
I don't hear anybody else. I only hear you.
Oh wow, that's
First
weird.
to finish, you can't hear. You can't hear me.
As I kept asking, can you guys hear me? I hear nothing but you.
Oh wow.
That's
see what happens.
Everyone else can hear each other, right?
I can hear everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
I would try to just come in and out real fast if you're down for that, Robin. Maybe that'll fix it. I don't know.
I want to hear his take.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let me read through some of these super chats. Scap is overrating Joker. Ticket is underrating him slightly. $5 super chat. Jokic is Larry Bird. He's not the best player by far. He's one of the bright stars. So
I think Larry Bird was the best player for like a 6-year span in the 80s, but
I'll let Robin go. And I just have something quick to say after Robin goes.
Robin, can you hear everyone now or just me still?
I don't know. Everybody say something.
Test.
Check.
Yeah. I think I'm back in the
testing. Jokic, 1 2 1 2. Jokic, not enough help. 3 4. Can you hear that?
Your camera.
Robin, let me run through these super chats and then if you want to put it on them. Man Down Sports, thank you, Man Down Sports. You should come back on the channel sometime soon. Jamal Murray isn't an all-star for the same reason Brunson wasn't while playing in Dallas. Jokic and Luka do too much. Thank you.
We can look at what Murray does off with when Jokic is off. We can look at that very easily.
Story Game says, I'm confused at Scap's point. So Jokic is so great at offense so you can excuse his lack of defense.
Quite frankly, yeah, that is just about my point. But I think Jokic is he's not a great defender. Just like Magic was not a good defender at all. Steph Curry was not a good defender at all. Those two are never criticized for being poor. Luka Doncic isn't a good defender. But like these players are never criticized like Nikola Jokic. He is more serviceable than people want to admit.
And these laughs does 10 Canadian dollars. Same symbol, just with a CA in front of it. Defense is all effort. LBJ doesn't have it. With Steve Nash a defensive stopper, Jokic can be a good defensive player by being in position and keeping teammates in position. And then I want to say thank you again, Ticket TV, for calling in. That was a Christmas wish in itself.
Yeah, thanks, Ticket. Great having you.
Robin, I know you wanted to say some stuff about the whole Jokic thing.
I don't even know if I have the energy right now to even begin again. But once again, we missed the whole point. You know, my man Ticket came in here, man. Much respect to Ticket, but he missed a boat on I think what he should be, or what he's trying to say. What he was trying to say is he's talking about the competition. And that's what we were talking about earlier. The competition in the NBA over the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it's been, the competition's gone down the hill. So essentially, Nikola Jokic is the smartest kid with Down syndrome, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to knock anybody that has anybody that related with that or anything, but that's essentially what he is. So yes, Nikola Jokic is great, man. He's fantastic. But who's he going against? See, when we talk about his lack of help, right? When we start to talk about those things, we go down that avenue. What that opens up is the things that we're talking about. How much help does Nikola Jokic need to beat the 2022 or 2023 Miami Heat? I mean, how much help do you need to beat Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo? Nikola Jokic is that great. He should be able to beat those guys, no problem. But he has serviceable guys around him. You're not, when you mention Michael Jordan needing Scottie Pippen or not winning until he got a serviceable help, why is that? Because he's going against the goddamn Detroit Pistons, man. The legendary Detroit Pistons. You're going against the legendary Boston Celtics. You're going against Dr. J Sixers. You're going against Dominique Wilkins' Atlanta Hawks. You're going against the Cleveland Cavaliers with Mark Price and Brad Daugherty. You're going against quality teams. When we talk about the NBA over the last 5 or 6 years, you cannot put your finger on a great team and be like, damn, this team has been formidable. Who the hell is going to beat these guys? It's been somebody else. When you mention Giannis, he did the same thing Nikola Jokic did. This is why we praise these guys, because they didn't need to win with all the help. But why do you not need help right now? Because there are no great teams. In the 1990s, Michael Jordan's Bulls went against so many 60-win teams. They beat more and win against more than any other team in the history of the NBA because there were that many great teams. You're going against teams. It's not just essentially the players. You like to name a lot of names, and names are great. When you mention, oh, Kevin Durant's Phoenix Suns, who the hell are Kevin Durant's Phoenix Suns? They're no one. They've done nothing. When you talk about, oh, he had to go against Luka Doncic's Dallas Mavericks, who the hell are they? They've won nothing. They're nobody. That's not Larry Bird Celtics. That's not the Isaiah Thomas Detroit Pistons. If Michael Jordan was playing in this era with the 88 Bulls or the 87 Bulls, the 86 Bulls, before Pippen came around, let's say, he would be doing just fine because the problem was never Michael Jordan or the lack of help. The problem was he was going against some of the greatest teams in the history of the goddamn game, man. So when we talk about the competition, Nikola Jokic is great. He's fantastic. Like you said, he won 3 MVPs in this league. Going against who? His really only competition has been Giannis. That's the only legit competition that you could throw out there. Guys like James Harden have won MVPs in the last 6 or 7 seasons. Russell Westbrook has won an MVP. What are we really talking about? Joel Embiid won an MVP. This is his competition to win MVPs. SGA, he's a good player, Scap. Let's be real here, though, man. He's not an all-time great legend, man. So when we talk about the competition, that's the problem for Nikola Jokic. That's a problem for him. It's not nothing he could do about it. It doesn't take away from his game and what he could do. When I've talked about Nikola Jokic in the past, I've always given him props, and I've always said he could play in the other eras because of his mental toughness and his physical toughness and his overall game. But when we talk about what Tiki was alluding to, the defensive end, we got lost in the weeds with defense. It's not necessarily that Nikola Jokic can't play defense or he's not serviceable or having an impact on the defensive end because his dimensions and his IQ allow him to do those things on the defensive end and help his teammates, like you said, and be in the right positions, have a hand up in these areas. The problem is being when you're going against the guys you're going against in this era, and he's talking about the competition again. When you're having to go against these guys every single night, you're going to have to play defense every single night. So it's not necessarily you're being a great defender or not being a great defender. You're going to have to play defense against Hakeem Olajuwon. You're going to have to play defense against David Robinson and Patrick Ewing and Brad Daugherty and Robert Parrish and Shaquille O'Neal and Dikembe Mutombo and Ronnie Cycli and Rick Smith. So they're going to be, they're posting games. They're banging into every night. You're going to have to play D. So maybe Nikola Jokic is getting into foul trouble now going against some of these guys because there's not the defensive skills. But now on the other end, once again, we go to the competition. You're going against those same guys who are two-way legends, a lot of those guys. So, yes, Nikola Jokic is a great man. He's fantastic. But when we talk about the era he's playing in, it's not his fault. Even himself, he said the EuroLeague is tougher than the NBA is. So we can't critique the NBA and say how weak it is and how it needs to change. The game is garbage, essentially. Let's look at Nikola Jokic in the All-Star game last year. He was part of the problem in the All-Star game last year. He was goofing around out there and doing the same things that we hate. So he's a great player, but he's the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
I think, look, and I'll turn it over to you guys. This won't take me but 50 seconds. I think where we're getting confused here is you guys think that I'm putting Jokic like over historical guys right now. I think my premise on Nikola Jokic is that since Kobe basically started, waning, when Kobe started going down the physical prime roller coaster around 2011 or whatever year you want to select, and LeBron James kind of inherited the league. I think from that era from 2011 or 2012, LeBron's era, which included Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Jokic, all these players. So from that year till now, Jokic is better than every guy. So that is my premise. That's what I'm saying. Like, so what am I? Look, Nikola Jokic is better than LeBron James. He's better than Steph Curry. He's better than Kevin Durant. He is the best of this time frame. Whatever you want to do with that, you can do with it. So I don't know if you want to debate me on that, or if people are disagreeing with me on that. I'm not saying Jokic is Jordan or Jokic is above Hakeem. I'm saying he's
Jordan,
better than
though,
everybody
Steph.
now.
You mentioned Jordan and not having Pippen. So when you're doing that, you're putting him in the conversation with Michael Jordan. When you mention Larry Bird and you mention Magic Johnson, let's be very clear here once again. We're talking about the competition. The reason why Larry Bird had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish and Danny Ainge and all these other guys is because he was going against Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and James Worthy and Byron Scott. And he was going against Dr. J and Moses Malone and Maurice Cheeks. He was going against other legends. He was not going against Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, man. He wasn't going against some of these other guys on other teams. That's the facts here. We must educate the people. Don't you fall asleep on me, Speem. Wake your ass up.
I'm going to go through a couple super chats that came in real fast. We got Play saying Jokic cooks AD, Wemby, Rudy, Kristaps. He's playing much better than defensive centers. People like Ewing were mid-defensive players.
Patrick Ewing averaged over 4 blocks in an NBA season and did not even lead the league in blocks that season because Hakeem Olajuwon averaged like 4.8 blocks a game. You guys are a joke. If Patrick Ewing played today, he would have about 10 all-defensive first teams. He'd have about 5 block titles. He'd have about 5 rebound titles and about 2 or 3 MVPs. And you guys would be looking at Patrick Ewing a lot differently. Once again, Patrick Ewing played against David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Rick Smith, all these great, Brad Daugherty, Robert Parrish. You guys don't know the history of the game. I'm educating you right now. Listen, open your ears.
Ticket TV is returned, but I'm gonna let him back up in a second after I do these the rest of these super chats. Unpopular Truth says, "Dang, Scap contradicted himself with the face palm." I don't know what that's.
What would that be on? I wonder.
I don't know. And then one more, Story Games. Scap, would you consider Kobe's two-peat team as an all-time great team? Lakers versus Orlando was not a compelling series, to be fair.
What, the Lakers 2P team to be an all-time great team? No, not at all. I don't think that Lakers team was an all-time great team in any capacity, way, shape, or form. That's part of the reason why I value Kobe at the level that I do. To me, that's why Kobe is the second best player in my estimation of all time because of that team. He went against 11 of the 12 opponents he played in a 3-year span, all won at least 50 games. He played the Thunder one year in that 1-8 seed as a 50-win Thunder team with Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. That was Kobe's 1-8 matchup. So Kobe winning back-to-back against those 12, those teams, those years, to me, really are two of the more challenging rings we've ever seen in NBA history. And that Orlando team, yeah, sure, wasn't that good. They did end MVP LeBron's season, though, that year. They did go ahead and eliminate LeBron, who was the MVP, who was the number 1 seed throughout the entire playoffs with the best record in the entire NBA. They sent him home out of the playoffs.
All right. Ticket has returned. Welcome back, sir. And Man Down Sports should be coming up soon.
I know this your channel, dog, but I never disrespected you, bro. Bro, you don't treat big dogs on the basketball like that and just say, well, I'm going to hold you back. Just pull me up, dog, like a regular man, bro. I've showed respect to your channel. I've come on here, chop it up with y'all. You know what I'm saying, bro? You ain't gotta try and treat me like I'm some little dog.
Go ahead, Tiki. Go ahead, man.
That's a fact. I'm coming over here to show your channel love and to help push y'all's narrative and to help push this channel because I like the things y'all talk about. I actually support y'all's channel. I actually watch y'all all the time, even if I don't say anything, dog. But my whole thing was what Scap is even when Scap keeps saying that Jokic is the best player of this era, that's bull. Giannis Antetokounmpo still has 2 MVPs and a Defensive Player of the Year award and a championship. Jokic has got a championship. He's got 3 MVPs, and that's it. So where's the big difference that he's better than this? No. And Giannis may pull off winning another MVP this year, depending on how this season ends. So
Giannis has Dame.
Right, no, I'm saying no. But what I'm saying is that you keep pushing this narrative that Jokic is his best player in this era. But then you're crying right now about the lack of help he has. But that same key guys that he has helped him win a world championship. And Jamal Murray was the key guy. And no, sports, I didn't forget about cooking him on the competition in this area. My mic got fried because I was frying him. So that's why the mic went out, because I was cooking him so hard that the mic got burnt up, because I was talking about that before I left, but I heard it cracking up. So, but like I said, I like Scap. I like this channel. I like what y'all do. I like y'all dialogue. I just don't think Scap is fair, because what Scap do is, and he know the game he play, he'll run around here, talk down on LeBron James, praise everything Jokic does, but then Jokic is supposed to be the best mind in basketball, the best IQ in the game. He picked Russell Westbrook. So what is his problem with the guy he praised?
LeBron played with like 4 top 75 players.
No. That's what I'm saying though. This is what you do though. Specifically, you'll go and you'll criticize. You'll put them Russell Westbrook shooting bricks and all this other stuff, and he would have had a good game. And you'll go put that in the highlights and talk about how Jokic don't have no help. But once again, you have disrespect. You're part of the crew who disrespects Jamal Murray. Y'all disrespect when the legends in the game talk about how great of a player Jamal Murray is. And guess what? Jamal Murray does what we want James Harden. Jamal Murray does what we want Joel Embiid. Jamal Murray does what we want all these other guys to do in the postseason, which is for the most part step his game up. When those other guys that we praised during the regular season, who you call
terrible last year,
step their game.
Terrible.
No. Hold on. But you can also say he had a serious injury he was playing with, which he still played with and eliminated the Lakers with on one leg. We remember that. That's true. That you can't take that away. So he did have an injury.
Points on 20 shots a game in the playoffs.
No, but you're not listening. But hold on. But we're not talking about stats when you're there in the clutch. Because when you talk about, this is what you do to LeBron James. You'll talk about how LeBron James stat pass and isn't there in the clutch. But then you'll criticize Murray's stats, but he is there in the clutch. You can't have it both ways, dog. You gotta call it 100.
He's also a clutch player, though.
So why isn't he closing? Hold on. So why isn't he closing the deal against the Wizards on a Wednesday
top
night?
He's top 5 right now in all clutch metrics.
No,
and they're 14 and 11. I don't know what you want. He's top 5 in all clutch metrics right now.
I want you to beat the worst team in the league.
Leading every advanced metric. He's top 2 in rebounds, assists, and scoring. I don't know what to tell you. I guess the team's not good enough.
Let me ask you a question, Scap, because I see you like numbers a lot, right? And numbers do lie. You know why numbers lie? Numbers lie because they tell us LeBron James shoots what from the field? Over 50%, right?
37% outside of 3 feet from the basket.
I'm saying from the two. What does he shoot from 2? Don't cherry pick, because you know I'm finna fry you right quick, Scap.
Right now he's shooting 45%.
But hold on, but we all know he's not a great jump shooter. We all know he's not on the level of Michael Jordan.
Before 2011, he was shooting 40 under 50. Then rules changes and lack of defense started.
But I'm saying we know he get most of his points barreling to the basket. Listen,
on dunks and layups. Yeah,
I agree with you on Kobe. I agree with you on Mike. I agree with you on most of the other players you talk about. It's just that you have this fascination with changing the rules for Nikola Jokic. And listen, I think he's great.
I'll give it right back to you real quick. I just want to say one thing. I agree with you on Giannis. If you want to say it's a really tight battle between Giannis and Jokic, I'll even concede that. But it's those two, and it is every single other player. To me, I think Giannis and Jokic are above LeBron. If you gave Giannis and Jokic the amount of supporting cast that LeBron James has had throughout his career, they would have as many championships as LeBron. They would both be better historically than LeBron. Giannis and Jokic.
I love this channel. I agree with what you're saying. All I'm saying is don't get into doing what they do with LeBron, bro, and putting down his teammates, because them same key guys helped him win a championship. So what we need to do is we need to tell Jokic, look, bro, you need to raise your level up and win a game against the Washington Wizards, bro. There's no excuse that Jordan Poole was their best player on the court and you lose that game that way and you drop 50-something points. Because if it was LeBron, regardless of AD was on the court or not, we would have criticized him. We would have cooked him. These are facts. So when we have guys like Jokic who are on elevated levels, they deserve elevated criticism. That's why when we try to compare LeBron James to Mike, when we try to compare LeBron James to Kobe, when we try to compare LeBron James to Larry Bird, to Nikola Jokic, he doesn't fare up because those guys took a different path than he took. Those guys went and got it a harder way than he got it. So I'm with you on that. Just don't say, hey, man, Jokic is the greatest player in the era right now, and it ain't close, because it is close, because you got a guy named the Greek Freak who's playing both ends of the court, baby, and you better believe that.
Hey,
Hang
real
on.
fast,
Giannis,
real fast,
Giannis, hang on, real quick. Real quick. This year, Giannis is 15-12 right now, and Jokic is 14-11 right now. And Giannis has an all-star in Dame Lillard, who's averaging 26 points per game, who's going to make his 9th career all-star, and who is a top 75 all-time player. So, like, and I'm not criticizing Giannis this year at all. I think that he is right there. I think it's him and Jokic, to me, 1 and 2 in the MVP racing. I'm not criticizing Giannis, despite the fact he has more help now than Jokic in my estimation, and he has basically the same record.
Okay, real fast. Let me do these super chats. So Vacation Wealth Partners sent me a super chat. What old school player team do you think would benefit most from playing today in this soft era? The super chat is for me. Well, thank you, Vacation Wealth Partners. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys. I think an easy one that would translate to today's era would be Bob Pettit. I think those 60s Celtics teams, in respect to the pace of play, would do well, let alone adding the three-pointer and the equipment being a lot better. I think they would do good. But thank you for the super chat. That's a loaded question. And then Honest Adonis Reactions did a $5 super chat to somebody. The NBA has become elitist. Jordan was welcoming to the casual viewer. This era shuns the casual viewer due to the LeBron effect, in my opinion. Thank you, Honest Adonis Reactions. And then 2 things. Welcome, Mel from Man Down Sports. And Ticket. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful for you. I was just trying to do the super chats. I appreciate you coming on.
I love y'all.
If you
channel,
took
man.
it that way, I did not mean it that
bro,
way.
Hey, bro, listen. I love what y'all do over here. Y'all keeping the game on point. It's a group of y'all that's doing it, and I'm watching y'all do it. I just get agitated with Scap because he come out here, he'll criticize LeBron James, which I'm cool with. But then he'll do the same thing he say that LeBron James fans do. Forget LeBron James. He say LeBron James fans and jockstrap sniffers always complaining. Well, I'm telling Scap, look, if you're saying Jokic is this great, and we're saying that he's the leader of this era, which he is, him and Giannis are, bro, we can't get him no excuses either. Especially when he won a championship with 2 key guys. No, I'm saying Giannis don't get no.
Giannis teamed up with Luka. If Jokic went and teamed up with Luka or
have
SGA,
a debate,
which is what exactly what LeBron did when he went with Wade. If Jokic went and teamed up with Luka, Doncic, or Shea, I would criticize him no matter what, because it's a soft, coward, bullshit move. But then guess what? If he failed like LeBron did with that guy, I would criticize him even more, and he would be invalidated ever from GOAT consideration and from top 5 consideration. So I will keep that same energy with Nikola Jokic when he does the things that LeBron James has done. When he has those players that LeBron James has.
Russell Westbrook play well too. And stop throwing his bricks when he play well. You show Russell Westbrook bricks and he'll play well. He'll have a great game and go watch.
Bro, you're talking about the video I put out in the second week, the second game of the season. I haven't criticized Russell Westbrook all year since that. I love Russell Westbrook. You want me to give him his credit right now? I've been a fan of Russell Westbrook his whole career. I love Russell Westbrook. He's playing great basketball right now. He's probably held their 3rd best player on the team right now.
Easily 3rd best.
So I think Nick and Speem, I think we should re-explore this debate for another one-on-one debate between Ticket and Scap, where it just after the whole show is just dedicated to it. Not specifically on Sunday, but sometime. Ticket, I know you gave out your number earlier before. We tried reaching you, and I don't know if it was the wrong number that you gave us, but me and Scap tried reaching you to try and do that debate, but we never got an answer.
Straight busy signal.
But we didn't call but texted, but still.
It's one of his many cell phones. He's got to find it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened, but I guess he left again. Anyway, Mel, how are you today, sir?
What's good, man? How y'all doing, man? Can y'all hear me right?
Yep.
Yo, Mel, what up, man?
What's up, man? How y'all doing, man?
What's up,
Look, I was enjoying the conversation, man, but I too like Ticket, kind of just the Jokic thing with Scap. So this is what I think, Scap, and this is with all due respect. I think there's like three ways to actually grade a player. And I think when you're just grading a player just by observing them on the court and coming away with your conclusion is one way. I think when you grade a player's just stats and numbers is a totally different way to grade a player. And I think when you historically grade a player based on storylines, like who he won with, how much help he had, how much help he didn't have, I think that's a whole different thing as well. So but when you make the statement that Jokic is by far the best player, I'm thinking just by observation of grading him on the floor, and I'm not thinking about the numbers, because the numbers can be different from player to player depending on what system they play in and just what they do. Like a person like Jokic and Jokic and Luka, they control their offensive hub for their team, right? So their numbers are going to look way different than someone who plays off ball like a Kevin Durant or something like that, and let a point guard conventionally handle the offense, like Kobe and Jordan did. So those numbers are different. So I wouldn't use numbers to rank and rack and stack players, because everyone's numbers is going to be different based on circumstances, right? And for that same reason, their teammates look like they're doing less of what they're actually capable of doing. Jamal Murray, in my opinion, is an all-star level point guard. He's on par with Jalen Brunson. And we didn't know well, I knew it, but a lot of people by using the numbers didn't know Jalen Brunson was that good while playing with Luka, because Luka is the offensive hub. Even Kyrie Irving isn't an all-star anymore playing with Luka. It's just very hard. Luka's doing everything on offense, and so is Jokic. And you're going to make a person like Aaron Gordon that was a fringe all-star in Orlando and the number one option for Orlando. You're going to make Michael Porter Jr., who's been number one coming out of high school all the way up until he had his back injury and still was a lottery player. He's got way more capability than what he's showing with Denver, but he just can't do it because they're using him like a catch and shoot Klay Thompson type at 6'11". And they think that trading him for Zach LaVine is going to be different, but Zach LaVine is going to be in the same role as Michael Porter Jr., and it's going to be the same thing because Jokic never is going to play a different style of offense under Mike Malone. He's always going to get his numbers, his triple doubles, and that makes everyone look less. Well, last thing I say, Scap, every player that plays triple double basketball, James Harden in Houston, Westbrook in OKC, Jokic right now, Luka in Dallas, and LeBron whenever he did it in Cleveland, everybody on that team was criticized for not doing enough, but you just can't do enough. Kevin Love, Chris Bosh, Carmelo when he played with Harden, Westbrook when he played with Harden, Dwight when he played with Harden, Brunson when he played with Luka, Kyrie now. The list just goes on. When you play triple-double basketball, you always going to make your teammates look less than, because it's not other roles that you can do. If I'm the primary scorer and the primary facilitator for the team, what's left? And that's why I think it's different.
Man down. Thank you for that was a great, well-voiced, reasoned outtake that you just presented. Thank you, and welcome on, by the way.
For sure.
I think this is the problem though that I have with it. We see what the Nuggets are when Jokic is not on the floor. Like you can't just pretend like it's not happening. He missed those 3 games earlier this year, and they were putrid looking. They were 1-2 in those 3 games. And they looked like a team that would be in like contention for the number, like a top 2 pick in the NBA without him. When he goes to the bench anytime, they drastically lose numbers, lose standing in the game. Like, again, I've never been a big fan of advanced analytics, never, because I'm a Kobe guy. Like Kobe Bryant is my favorite player. Forget about basketball. He's my favorite athlete of all time. Kobe Bryant is one of my favorite people ever. Like, I worship this guy, and he is not an efficient looking player when you drill into these stupid, arbitrary, advanced analytic acronyms. But like the one thing though that I just can't refute is the on-off per 100 possessions. Like the Nuggets go from the best offensive rated team in the NBA to one of the worst teams ever when Jokic is not on the floor per 100 possessions. Like, I think some of the triple-double guys, like I feel like James Harden, the James Harden system, like these guys want to play that style. I look at Jokic as a player that is playing out of like demand, out of necessity. Do you think Nikola Jokic wants to be second in the NBA in scoring right now? Not at all. But they don't have enough. Like if Jokic had better pieces around him, in my opinion, he would dial down the stats. You're right. The stats absolutely would not look as good. 100%. Jokic wouldn't be doing anything near what we're seeing from a standard box score standpoint nightly, or probably from the advanced analytics standpoint. But he would be winning more. Like Jokic would be winning titles, competing for titles. And one of the reasons I was a Nikola Jokic critic for years, because I said empty, hollow stats, meaningless stats. But when he won the title that year, like that changed everything for me. Like when Giannis won the title that year, like for me, from a historical standpoint, one title doesn't cut it. But when it's in the face of you're doing it with less, then 1-2 titles can be very meaningful and impactful to me. Hakeem Olajuwon is the 5th best player ever on my own personal top 10 list. Hakeem Olajuwon with only 2, because the competition he faced and the lack of supporting cast that he had. So I think my defense of Nikola Jokic necessarily isn't like, oh, look at these awesome stats. It's okay, but if he had better players, the stats wouldn't be good, but he would be winning, which I ultimately do value more. I think the numbers in his case, though, make the case that he doesn't have enough help because of what happens when he's not on the court.
Real fast, Mel. 2 things. I think we should have a Scap Attack versus the world, like there was a Ticket TV versus the world.
No, because I think everybody appreciate everything Scap do. It's just that it's just the Jokic thing. That's it. It's like everything Scap does is on par with what everybody else already believes. It's just the Jokic thing that people won't push back on, because I think Jokic got you fooled a little bit, because we think his persona is I don't care. You don't get that good with not caring. Like he cares just as much as Kobe cared. Like he cares. I mean, you can't want to perform on a stage like that if you're not caring. He's just fooling us with that persona like he doesn't. I just want to ride horses and pet horses. Man, this dude is practicing more than everybody. That's why he's so good. He cares. He wants those stats as well. He wants those MVPs as well. He cares. His persona is that I don't care, because it goes very well. Just trust me. Jokic cares, right? But this is my only pushback, Scap. The fact that him going to the bench and his team's not performing that well. Well, first of all, his team's not performing that well. He's on the floor either. They're 3 games above 500, right? And in the first 3 games they played this season, they were blown out in all of them. They came back in 2 of them and actually won. They look horrible. Defense is horrible. Portland just hit a game winner on them. They drove right to the basket. How do you get a layup off the glass for a game winner? I don't know. But your 7-foot Jokic was the last line of defense, and he didn't even jump and put his hands up to contest the shot. He did what a jab and retreat on the game winner. Like he rotated over and jabbed and retreated.
I mean, Russ has been phenomenal defensively. Russell Westbrook's on-ball defense this year is like top 3. Again, if you pour into the advanced metrics, and Russ got blown by on that play. I mean, I get it. Jokic has to be better. He has to be quicker to get by, but Russ got absolutely torched on that layup.
I agree.
And it was right after Jokic had just tied the game. Like it was one, I think it was 124, 122 or whatever. And Jokic tied at 124 with like 10 seconds left. And he
probably got fouled. He probably got fouled on that shot when he tied the game.
Hey, Dart, real quick, what was the topic for today?
Well, that's
I'm not
what
even
I was
trying to be smart. I do not remember.
I want to go and let me run through some super chats, and I want to ask Mel the topic.
So,
all right, don't let me forget, because I wanted to address Jokic going to the bench too. I wanted to address that.
Okay, let me do these super chats, and then Mel, if you would answer what is your Christmas wish for the NBA. But let me do the super chat first. So Unpopular Troop says, Scat praised Jokic for just being an offensive player only. This is what you were being contradicting about, I guess. But bash LeBron for the same thing. Thanks, Ticket.
LeBron actually elite defender for like 5-6 years. I mean, I will say that.
Gelato Boy, yeah, for $5 says Jokic's basketball IQ on defense is severely underrated because he doesn't have a vertical. Meanwhile, Jokic surgically dissects the best NBA offenses. I had to dissect that spelling.
In normal circles, we call those coaches. so hey, just because you got the IQ to play defense, you got to actually do it physically, though. You just can't have it up here.
I will say Jokic is 13th in the NBA in steals per game right now, and I think he's top 5 in total steals per game. I just people talk about
none of those, and in the 90s he would be like a 50 or 100th in that shit.
Hey, Scap, none of those metrics will put you on a limb to say he's a good defender.
Agreed, but I'm not saying he's good, but I'd say he's gets more criticism, I think, defensively than he deserves, and it's coming right off of Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are 2 of the 3 best players we've seen in the last 15 years, along with LeBron. Like neither of them were good defenders, right?
Oh, man, that's another topic.
Thank you, Gelato Boy, for $5.
Hey, Dark, can you text me some stats so I can get in on this? Doesn't matter what stats. Just give me some stats.
Just any stats.
I don't care.
Any of them.
Just sit back
Just
and
some
listen
information.
and get educated.
Just some information.
Look, Spring, I ain't gonna be here. I'm gonna be out of y'all here shortly, man. I'm going to Five Guys to get me a grilled cheese sandwich, man. So
this is great. This is hilarious for me.
Austin G for $10 says, with all the top players being foreigners and domestic players struggling to be professionals and stay out of trouble, what do you guys see as the potential face of the league? That's what we're talking about. I don't think they got one really that's standing out with that. I don't know.
Yeah, one of my biggest critiques has been LeBron not pushing younger players or that kind of thing. I think he's failed in that arena. It
could be Shea.
My hope is this:
the NBA don't push these guys. We talked about that.
That's true. So this is my hope, and this is my Christmas wish for the NBA, Dart. My hope is that they abandon the need to have a face of the league to market, and they just market good basketball and push basketball in the forefront. Let's concentrate on making the basketball product look good again. Push that, and then naturally the face will arise, right? Because right now we're handpicking guys that we want to market. And we have to overcompensate in so many different areas and ways to make sure that person can be marketed, because you're marketing a guy who can't pull his team to the finals and win. So now you start to rig games for him. Now you pushing guys out there that we can obviously see is not the best. And it's just so many things going on with that. And it just make everything look bad. Just push the basketball. Make basketball great again. Make it look good. Make it a good product. Give us the best product as possible. Make us fall in love with the sport of basketball in the NBA, and then naturally the face will arise.
That's well said. I don't disagree with that. Was the Menaki for NGN? I think we discovered this once upon a time, but I don't remember what that is. For 400 NGN, hopefully more than 50 cents. But if not, either way, it's still thankful for that. Hates Scap's toxic takes, but he's 100 right on Jokic.
See, that's ironic because most people agree with my takes and not the Jokic take. So this is this is someone who agrees with Jokic and nothing else, I say.
He must be a LeBron James fan.
But you're not here, Mel?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'm gonna give y'all time back, man, because we hijacked it with Jokic. But Scap, last thing I say, just to push back on when he goes to the bench thing, it's a reason for that. 9 times out of 10, if you create, and it's by design, right? So if you create an offense that is 100% reliable on one player, you have a single point of failure. You just create a single point of failure, right? And that's not a good business model. That's not a good model in any way, not even in your household. I mean, like, even my son can do some of the things that I do around the house in the case that I'm not here, right? So you never want to create a single point of failure. But when you have one guy being your offensive hub, like Luka, Jokic, Harden, you can't survive without them. You don't have 2 offenses installed. You have one. So when Jokic is out of the lineup or on the bench, what's the offense they're running? It's razzle-dazzle. Jamal Murray just makes something happen. Michael Porter Jr. as soon as you touch it, shoot it. They're not running any sets for Michael Porter Jr. at 6'11". He's not in the post trying to exploit his matchup. None of that. It's just all dribble, drive, catch, and shoot, and hero ball with Jamal Murray. And then that's the reason why when Jamal Murray is not 100% healthy, he looks bad. The team looks bad. They're not winning. They got a horrible offense when Jokic is not on the floor. Now, if you contrast that with Phil Jackson's triangle offense, even with Michael Jordan playing baseball, Scottie Pippen can step in and they can still run the triangle. And they still had a good offense and they still look good, right? So that's the difference. I don't like those offenses when you give your best player the ball and say, you get all the assists, you get all the points. You know, we just go live and die by you. I don't like that, right? I like what they did in San Antonio with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was probably better than Jokic by a mile, in my opinion. But he didn't even put up the amount of shots that Jokic does. And Tony Parker was running that offense like it was his, not like it was Duncan's, right? Duncan was in the post, setting screens, doing his thing. And when they needed him, he was so good. Oh, we need a bucket. It's crunch time. Give me the ball in the post. I get the bucket, right? But other than that, it was Tony Parker running everything, which Jamal Murray is more than capable of doing. And then he got a backup in Westbrook that can do it as well. And then Ginobili was coming off the bench as instant offense, which is exactly what Michael Porter is, instant offense. And then, oh, by the way, you got Aaron Gordon. So he's got more than enough in Denver, but he don't have enough to operate that offense. Even LeBron needed a super team to play that offense, right?
So,
to play that style of offense, you need so much help to overcompensate on how bad of an offense it is.
Which is, I mean, fair. So it sounds like you're putting a lot of the blame on Michael Malone. Maybe we need to get him out of the equation in Denver and see what happens, because it sounds like those are, again, criticism. Like, I don't think my only issue with what you're saying here is like your assertion, which I don't know if I don't want to put words in your mouth, but basically that like Nikola Jokic is just a point and rebound assist, like a vanity player, and he wants to be putting these stats up, and he's like hijacked the offense so that he can put all of these numbers up.
No. That's what LeBron. Think it's that's LeBron.
Right. So I think it's out of necessity. So maybe what we can agree on is Michael Malone's failing this team more so than the personnel on it.
But they still run beautiful sets though. It's just, I mean, they're not doing exactly what Luka and Harden were doing. Like Jokic is not doing exactly that. It's because Mike Malone come from Popovich coaching tree too, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So
I think so.
It's beautiful sets that they run as well. They got beautiful concepts. It's a lot of backdoor. It's beautiful. It's just that I think they have two priorities. I think they're conscious of making Jokic what people believe him to be in history, and they like the fact that he gets all these MVPs and these attention. So they want Jokic to get his numbers as well. So they're trying to do two things, and you just can't do it. You can't do two things. Tim Duncan sacrificed all of those numbers that Jokic is getting so he can win, and that's what Jokic needed.
And I have Duncan above you. Duncan, again, he's in my top 5 because the full court guys that were also winning at high levels will always be valued above anyone else in my estimation. So that's why Hakeem and Duncan I have above Jokic. I have them both in my top 5. So there's literally there's no debate there.
That's fair, but I think I understand where you're coming from. I hope you understand a little bit where I'm coming from. I just think just take a second look at the help that he got, and just keep in mind maybe they're not helping because they can't. They're handicapped a little bit because it's too much on one guy, and that's by design. That's not out of necessity. They're just designing Jokic to be the guy the way he is, but they could absolutely let Murray had 10 assists, 1 turnover in that loss against Portland. 1 turnover, that's a real point guard. He's more than capable of doing what Tony Parker did for San Antonio in Denver, and probably more. But that's just my thing, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. Spain, Sports and Fitness Rants, Dart, my man Scap. I forgot my man in the middle, man, but good to see all of y'all again, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Down.
Thanks for calling in, Merry Christmas.
No doubt.
Also, Dart, I don't know if he's still on here or if he was ever really on here, but I thought I saw Charles from Dreamer Pro making a comment on the board. So if he's still
stuff in the chat, yeah.
If he's still in here, I just wanted to say what's up and give him a major shout out. I'm a fan. I'm thankful for him. He he reposted a lot of my stuff early on when I just started doing this like a year and a half or whatever, 2 years ago. So thanks, Charles. And if you are watching, I appreciate you watching here too.
Yeah, I didn't see it pop up, but I also been trying to do the super chats where it just keeps going back to the Jokic, which isn't a problem. It's great content, but I didn't see that he was in there. But thanks for showing up, Dreamers Pro, if you're still in here. Let's get through some of these super chats. Wisdom Inaki, another 400 NGN. Kobe is an overrated low field goal percentage ball hog scout.
See, I told you it was a LeBron James fan last time. I told you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just then this is the reason why I typically don't talk advanced metrics. Quite frankly, if I'm really going to remove my mask here real quick and like a Scooby-Doo like villain's face reveal where I reveal like Jokic, the reason I started praising Jokic honestly was kind of tongue in cheek as a way because he was so good at these advanced analytics and these advanced metrics. Like he was a way for me to kind of make fun of the analytic movement and like make fun of people that, you know, are uplifting these efficient players over Kobe Bryant. So that's kind of honestly when I started watching Jokic and why I watched him as much as I have in the past was really I was not a fan of his to begin with. So I mean, say what you will about the advanced metrics. I can't defend. They are what they are. Like Kobe is not an efficient advanced player, but he still is the best offensive player I've ever seen other than we'll say Jordan. And he played both ends of the ball for like 13, 14 years at a high elite league wide level. And he won 5 championships, 2 of the hardest ones of my lifetime, at least. So Kobe's always going to be high on my list.
Wisdom Inaki says Wembanyama's the next face. Get ready. I don't know. That'd be cool, but I don't know.
Keep shooting on those damn threes.
MVF, the most valuable fighter, super chats for $2. New York Knicks are playing the best team ball in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, as a New York Knicks fan, the New York Knicks, I've done anything about the New York Knicks. I refuse to talk about the New York Knicks because I do not like Karl Anthony Towns. I'm not a believer in Karl Anthony Towns. I will not be a believer in Karl Anthony Towns until he shows me that he could do something in the postseason when it matters most, man. I don't give a damn anymore about some of these guys and what they do in the regular season. Karl Anthony Towns had a 30-20 game the other night. Man, great for Karl Anthony Towns, man. It's fantastic, man. You can write at home about it. I hope he got the game ball in the locker room, man. I hope they popped some champagne for him, man. He had a nice steak dinner and shit, man. But listen, man, let's be real here, man. Karl Anthony Towns and the New York Knicks, they've been playing good basketball, man, but I want to see they're doing the postseason.
Gelato Boy says for super chats for $5, Jokic makes as much adjustments as his coaches, including moving and reminding his teammates what to do and where to be. We've seen it anyway. Ask Ant-Man and Rudy. So, all right. Well,
I will secretly be rooting for the Knicks in the East since they got Brunson.
Brunson.
And then compare health, life, and dental insurance solutions. I forget the other super chat. We got a whole bunch of vacation wealth partners, compare health, life, and dental insurance solutions, and the Republic LLC. All you guys for super chatting with your businesses. Anyway,
good market.
Scap, real quick, who's your top 10? I know it's MJ and Kobe and Dream at 5. Who are the rest? You know, Kareem top 5. He's not top.
I will not reveal my full top 10. I've written a 30-minute top 10 video, which I have had sitting in my edits for like 6 months. Eventually, I'm going to edit that full 30 minutes video and put up my justification and argument for the placement of all the people. But in my top 5 are Jordan, Kobe, Kareem, Duncan, and Hakeem. 5 full court players that played at a high level, both sides of the ball, that won a multitude of championships. Like, to me, those 5 are going to be like hard to replace in my own list, my own ranking, because they were winners and they did it on both sides at an elite level.
All right.
I had Sonic 3 tickets like an hour and a half ago.
He's missed
you
it for the
serious?
show.
No, it's not. They're not till 3 p.m. All good.
My man Speed.
But I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank everyone in the chat for the blessings that you've given us in the show, particularly speaking for my channel at large. Thank you, NMB Sports. One of the first OGs. Same with you, Sports and Fitness Rants. Scap, thank you, especially over the last 6 months for joining us. And then Speem, I'm not thankful for you. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Anyway.
that's fine. That's fine. Let's move past it.
I just come and go. It's all right.
And thank you, Speem, as well. You're hilarious. And the
Whatever.
chat, thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for just participating and all of that. And then thank you for the special appearances of Ticket TV and Mel from Man Down Sports. I know Uncut Hoops and I guess Streamers Pro was watching as well. So thank you all for being a part of our community, helping share our points of view across the internet and the world. And I at first, before you guys say your closing statements, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and just share how thankful I am for all of you. So Nick, what do you got anything to say to the people?
Yeah, same. Very, very grateful to get to do this on Sundays and our Wednesday show. Sometimes, maybe, possibly. But yeah, same thing, man. This is fun. Like, this is good venting, just kind of, throwing ideas around. I've always enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm also thankful for you guys. And I actually was going to lean into the question a little more, and I was going to say, I'm very thankful that the Mavericks went from Dirk to Luka, essentially with no transition there. It went pretty smooth. So I was going to say I'm very thankful for that. It's kind of kept me in tune with the NBA. It kind of gives me a reason to keep watching. And the Mavericks are doing really good this year. So hopefully they can get back to the finals. We'll see what happens.
Jay Skapatek, you got anything for the people?
Yeah. Thank everybody out here. I've been looking at the comments today. I love all of the comments that you guys leave on here. And everyone that comes in supports this channel here when I'm on and just supports me on my channel. I appreciate all of you. Dart, thank you so much for pulling me. You had to, beat me into coming on. You kept asking me. I didn't really understand the whole live stream premise. I said no a lot of times before I came on, but now I'm glad that I did. And anytime I can get on here with you guys, I will. I appreciate all of you guys and helping me have a good time doing this. So thank all of you, Dart. And then hopefully maybe I think your real Christmas wish for the NBA is that Jokic just disappears, maybe, so that it doesn't hijack the conversation anymore. I'll try my best in the new year as one of my resolutions to not bring up Jokic on here, and so it doesn't turn into a Joker or a scat burst the world kind of thing.
Oh, it's all good, but I got you. Robin, what do you got to say?
Don't let Speem go after me.
Speem, hold on.
This order works. Go ahead. No, that's fine. Go ahead. Do what feels natural.
I'm just trying to help you out, man.
Oh, yeah,
But no.
yeah, let me go because I don't have the energy, and I have to save it for listening to your thing too. No, I just want to thank all you guys. I have nothing but love for everybody in this room. AOH is in here, but I have nothing but love for him as well. Thank you for letting me get some of these jokes off. Thank you for letting me show up every couple Wednesdays, 8-ish, 8:10, 8:12, whenever we start. It's appreciated. And I love all you guys. It's all jokes with me. So never take it serious. And everybody in the chat asking Robin to stop yelling. You're wasting your time. That's just his voice. So yeah. No, thank you, everybody.
All right, Robin, what you got to say for the people?
I mean, listen, I was going to say, man, Dar, you're bringing a tear to my eye, man. I mean, you're getting emotional talking about, where we started so long ago and, where the show has come, the Sunday live show, like you said, Nick, man, like, I mean, there was nobody watching these shows when we were doing them back in the day. To have someone like a Scap Attack come on here, to have someone like an AOH come on here, to have someone like Uncut Hoops come through, to have someone like Dreamers Pro come by, to have a Ticket TV, a Man Down Sports, any of the people that have come through over the time that we've been doing this, man, is truly, truly humbling, man. I always say that, and I'm always thankful, man, to be here with you guys and to be able to do this whenever I can, man. I really appreciate the back and forth, man, and I really appreciate a lot of you guys allowing me to be myself, man. Like you just mentioned, Speem. A lot of people, man, they talk about me and they say things about me. Oh, I'm doing drugs, or I must be on drugs to be the way that I am, or to speak the way that I am. And anyone that knows my channel knows, man. I'm all about health and fitness, man. I've been to health and fitness my entire life. I played sports my entire life, man. I don't even drink alcohol, man. A lot of people don't even believe that. Haven't had alcohol in over 10 years, man. So once again, when people try to make those things about me, I really appreciate you guys allowing me to be this way. And I remember early on, I was afraid to kind of be this way. A lot of our early streams, I'm not like this. I'm not yelling. I'm kind of monotoned, because I didn't know how people were going to perceive me or allow me to be on. I reached out to Dart hoping that one day I would be able to do something like this, to be able to go back and forth. But like I said, someone like Scap, that you built up a following because of the things that you know about the game, the research that you've done, and the way that you've been able to present this thing to the people. Because like I always say, man, it's about setting the record straight, man. Stopping the lies and stopping the narratives, man. That's what's about. The true basketball fan standing up, man. So once again, man, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to everyone out there. Thank you to all you guys once again, man. And like I said, I really appreciate this stuff. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Anyone, like I said, who's donated to any of our channels and donated to our Sunday live stream, man. Thank you very much, guys. Once again, man.
I just want to put this one thing out here, because I've been challenging a Johnny from Goat James Kingdom to a one-on-one debate for the longest time. And I went on his show on Friday and he said, no, it's not worth his time. He's just straight up denied it. So I'm just putting it out here. I haven't talked to you guys about it, but I think it'd be entertaining. I think it'd be a good Christmas present for everybody. If some of you at least, if y'all would be interested in doing a series of one-on-one debates, our show versus their show, to see who comes out on top, who's got the better debaters on the channel. Would y'all be interested in that?
You know me already. I'm in.
Yeah. How much of it is fact based?
Well, probably.
That's up to you.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got all the numbers then. Let's do it.
Present your argument.
Yep.
You don't need stats, Beam. All you need is the facts, man. That's what it's all about, man. It's about the facts, man. You know what I'm saying? If you know what you're saying and you know what you're talking about, that's all you need, man. The people going to hear you.
That's good life advice in general. I'm not being sarcastic.
What about you, Scap? Are you interested? I know you went on the show on his show recently.
Yeah, I was on for about 90 minutes on I don't know, last Wednesday or something like that. Maybe Friday. Maybe Friday. So yeah, I'd be interested to mix it up with those guys again.
Nice. And just to add, I want to say that I'm thankful. Because Robin's going to say no.
You right.
Hey, real quick, Dart, because I'm seeing this in the chat. Like I'm seeing a lot of these arguments just kind of reduce themselves to race, and I'm usually the one that brings up race, and it's more often than not serious. But like it doesn't have to be that, because it's so counterproductive to a lot of what we're trying to do here specifically. So I can't tell people how to speak, but like, you know, we do talk about things outside of race that would help justify an argument. Just something to think about.
And
We never even mentioned race. Did we mention race on this show at all? I don't even think we mentioned race, man. Who gives a damn about race? These clowns out here, they try to goof up the comment section. They try to goof up basketball. We don't talk about race on this channel. That's not what it's about, man. It's about basketball. Don't no one give a damn about Nicole Jokic being white or this guy being black or that. It ain't got nothing to do with that stuff, man. These people are clowns, man.
We talked about it for 5 seconds, but it was very not serious.
I couldn't hear. I missed out a lot of that. Maybe I didn't hear that.
We were just mentioning how someone had said that him being white might work against him, and I said it might work for him. It just kind of depends how you do it, and the fact that he's European, right? To separate European from white for a second, he's just hard to relate to culturally. The American versus European and we were talking about his horses and all that. But it was a very
That's
like
not racist.
yeah, I know. That's what I mean. But that was the only 10 seconds we talked about it that someone could have thought we said something wrong. But again, we were just kind of trying to draw a distinction.
Real fast, there's 2 more super chats I want to go through. And I just want to mention Gilbert Arenas coming on the show. Thank you for that, even though it was a giant yell fest. And same with FYF Sports for coming through a lot of my debate league and just for coming in through as well. They both got larger platforms. Gilbert Arenas has a ginormous platform, obviously.
Those would be sneakers.
Never got a sneakers.
Nope.
Mention never got a sneakers.
I wear Adidas. I wear Adidas stuff all the time now too, just to get his attention. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Uncle Rico's Revenge, $4.99. Keep reaching for Joker. Scappy has nothing in common with the actual stat patter LeFraud.
Couldn't agree more.
And King's Speech for $2 says, now I got to debate Robin about Carl Anthony Towns.
I keep telling these people, man, yo, much respect to King's Speech, man. Listen, Carl Anthony Towns is not a debate, man. Once again, right now he's on the trajectory to be James Harden, man. All right, man. Where was he at in Minnesota all those years? You know, he wasn't doing nothing. I remember Jimmy Butler actually criticizing Carl Anthony Towns as being a little goofy out there when he was out there, man. So listen, he's a good player for this era, no doubt. But I want to see what he's going to do when it matters most. That's why he's there. He's there to assist Jalen Brunson. Because in my opinion, Jalen Brunson's not a number 1 guy. He needs to be the number 2 guy behind Carl Anthony Towns. So he's got to be the guy to lead the New York Knicks. He ain't Patrick Ewing.
All right. And then, I think we'll shut it down here. And again, thank you all for coming. And Michael Jordan fans are the best.